Featured storyteller, international entertainer, Ms. Hiroka Maruki, also known as Hiro. Hiro was born and raised in She was born and raised in Hokkaido, Japan. And at the age of 17, she developed a passion for music and dancing. She has performed on various Japanese TV shows, commercials, and has won numerous dance competitions. She later became the lead dancer for the band Earth, Wind & Fire's Japan tour in 2004. In 2007, Hiro moved to Los Angeles as a professional dancer and choreographer. 2 years later, she won, along with her dance crew, We Are Heroes, MTV's America's Best Dance Crew as the first ever female champions. After winning, she was invited and performed on The Oprah Winfrey Show, Ellen DeGeneres Show, Disney Channel's Lab Rats, and Fox's So You Think You Can Dance. Additionally, Hiro has danced alongside Justin Bieber, Jennifer Lopez, Chris Brown, Neo, Sean Kingston, Major Lazer, Bobby Valentino, BBD, Kirstie Alley, and more. The list goes on and on. She also works as a global ambassador, and in 2017 rebirthed and defined her soul calling with her singing voice and walking into her truth. Gathering hold of the mic to share her voice, her truth, and her story is featured Storyteller International Entertainer.
こんにちは、Hiroka です。Hiroka Maruki, aka Hiro.
All right, listeners, everyone has a story to tell. I say it every week, and those willing to share their story will undoubtedly offer each of us listening food for thought. It is my hope that today's story will remind you of what's possible when you hold fast to a dream. And it is my expectation that you will be inspired to not only go for your dreams, but come to know what's most important on the road to and when you arrive. This is featured storyteller, international entertainer, Ms. Hiroka Maruki, also known as Hiro. Yay!
Hey. So this is my unique Japanese soul journey. So when I was 10, I had a natural psychic abilities because my mother's side of my heritage was a samurai bloodline. So I had just natural intuition. And one day, I was holding my mom's hand and reading her palm. Then I found out her lifeline was extremely short. And I was playing and just joking. I'm a little kid, you know? And like, oh my God, Mom, your lifeline is so short. You may die tomorrow. And guess what? Right next day, she committed suicide. And I couldn't believe it. I had my 2-month-old little sister, and my dad left. And after that, I got so scared and feeling deep guilt and loneliness and isolations. I cried over every day, and, it just felt so powerless. So I made my decision to put my gift, the closet, so I won't ever need to open again. So this one was the first time I self-sabotage myself and dim my real light. And my life turning point was at Mom's funeral. And this is how I become as an entertainer. I found a huge TV in a funeral place, and there were artists singing and dancing on a screen. And it looked so shiny. And I just forgot my pains and tears for a second. And it gave me fantasy, and I could gently escape from the reality that I felt so pain. So since that moment, I told myself, I will be like them. I'm going to live in my dream world from now on. So I became a dreamer because I couldn't take reality anymore. Only when I'm changing and that I'm chasing the light, I could feel I'm worthy enough to live. Because I just couldn't tell myself why I'm still living without my mom. And after that, when I was at the high school, my dad was a high school teacher also. He was a very square structure, Asian parents. I just really, really want to be as a singer for a living. But he told me that you're a failure if you sing. We had huge fights on many nights. And one day, he introduced me to dance classes. But honestly, at the time, I didn't like it much. But I don't even know why. But somehow, I began taking the dance classes over my singing. And my dad hated my choices regardless because I'm not working on the track that he wants for me. And I was just felt really crisis, and I lied about my age and made my money at the restaurant, then packed everything and left my home and moved to Tokyo the day after high school graduation. I heard my dad cut me out from our family line. I haven't seen my dad for almost 10 years, and currently, I don't even know where he lives, but at least I have his email address. Oh well, the life is keep going. So I moved to Tokyo. I was super addicted to anything about the soul because I was practicing dancing and the music was my everything. And all the black music, I don't even know what they're saying in English, but I really loved it. I enjoyed it so much. And I truly appreciate the beauty of the black culture. It just really gave me healing and the light. So my textbook was Soul Train. I had a whole DVD package from 1972 to 1990. And I sacrificed my family, obviously, and relationship and friendship and love. I didn't care anything. I felt like I have nothing to lose at this moment. I took 4 dance classes a day and worked at 3 jobs and slept for 2 hours. I put all my time and energy to dancing because that's really all I had. A few years later, I made all my freaking dream came true in Japan. I was working for commercial, concert, TV show, winning the contest, winning the battles. I really did everything what I want. But I desperately needed new dream in order to live because the dream was the only reason I can survive on this earth. I was living for dancing. Without dancing, how am I gonna live? That was only my shiny spark moment. So, however, there was nothing that made me excited in Japan anymore. I didn't want to be a producer. I'm not interested to build my academy. I just really lost the hope. So, Wheel of Fortune was spinning. One day, Greg Campbell Jr., he was from the original Lockers, from Soul Train. He invited me to come to USA. I was eager to see real cultures and learn speaking English and seeking new passions and challenge myself. So when I came to USA, obviously I couldn't speak in English, and when I moved to the USA, didn't have much money or don't know many friends. And I was underground garage dancer. I was taking dance classes just like when I was in Japan. I literally take at least 3-4 classes in a day and went to nightclub to practice. Then I ended up being homeless for 3 months. Ta-da! I thought it was just crazy, but honestly, it was my precious experience because as a Japanese girl, I feel like I was learning what black people had to go through. I've learned from the textbook, but I've never really experienced in my physical shoes. And although I know this can't even compare with the whole historical things, but even a tiny, tiny little bit of thing, I feel like I've learned that the similar language that I can relate to it. And so after that, when I was listening a song and just watching a comedy, made me feel like it's a little bit more closer. I feel like, oh wow, this is a soulful art, the beauty coming from, like made me feel even more freer after I had this experience. So while I was being homeless, I was taking Janet Jackson choreographer's classes. His name is Roger Lee. He was choreographing for Britney Spears and Janet Jackson. I loved his class. And after we finished the class, he told me that I don't need to take like his class anymore. And I asked him why. And he said, no, now you should be a choreographer. You can make your own. You don't need to learn from somebody else. So I took his word to my heart and I tried it. And I showed him what I create. I went to a parking lot and I filmed it. I had a 2 Japanese girls behind me and just doing a dance routine. And next week, I went to Debbie Ueno dance studio and showed him what I got. And he was like really smiling and he gave me a big compliment. And he said, oh my God, Hiro, you are just like me, but in your way. You should try Carnival. The Carnival was that dance event, the one once in a month. All the choreographer comes, and sometimes Missy Elliott, sometimes Jennifer Lopez come in very randomly. So I create my first piece of choreography and perform at the Carnival. That was at the Key Club in the West Hollywood. And fortunately, an MTV casting director was watching my show. And she told me to come to America's Best Dance Crew audition in a few weeks from now. And actually, in the past, I was already participating in the audition for that America's Best Dance Crew. And I booked it. But from season 1, season 2, season 3, I got cut because I didn't have a visa ready. So at this moment, I was kind of whatever. They offered me for the season 4, but I was already kind of like depressing. I was already like, whatever, if it's something happen, it's great. If it's not, still great. And that was the summertime, and there was another 5 dance crews offer me to be part of their crew to participate in the show. And I just picked the first crew who asked me to join in. But still, my heart was kind of in the middle. I wasn't fully committed. I mean, I did everything I could, but because I was scared to be disappointment again, so I was kind of in a neutral place. And we asked the casting director, because the casting director asked me for my crew to come on in for the audition, but I already commit other crew. What can we do? Because the policy is you can just commit for the one crew. And they said, just to come with another crew and let's see what's going to happen. So I went with another crew and they just cut us off right away. And I had to leave. Like, we're supposed to dance twice in front of a director, but we only danced once. And they said, thank you. I felt really uncomfortable, and I just say thank you, and I left the door. And so next day, casting director called me again And he said, Hiro, please come back with your crew, your own crew. So, okay, I packed up everything. I brought all my girls together and we went audition to see all the directors and executive people. And it went so well. We had many cuts, many shots, many interviews, and we were smiling. We could feel the synergies, and we just really enjoyed the moment. And we felt, oh my God, yes, we booked it. Yes, we got this. So we were secretly really cheering for each other's. Then, dun, 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 because I had foreigner girls in my crew. There's a French girl, there's a Japanese girl. Their visa just got freaking expired. Next day of the audition day. And so I literally lost the 2 girls. And the policy, the minimum amount of dancer was a 5. And at that time, my crew was 5. So I lost the 2. We have 3 girls left. And casting director cut me off again. So we got cut. And I was like, you know what? I knew this. You know what? Forget about this. I'm just going to Las Vegas and just my bust moves. There is a Hip Hop International. So all the dancers all around the world come to the Las Vegas and we just competing, battling, contesting, dancing all week. I was like ready to go Las Vegas. I was like holding everything, like my outfit and all my waters and everything, and getting the, flight ticket. And then at the 8 p.m., in a super duper duper last minute, casting director called me again. And she said, Hiro, you know what? We need you. Would you please get together with 2 American girls, and I will be there whenever you are and by tomorrow. So they asked me, okay, Hiro, get ready, get the 2 girls right away, and we will have a contract ready for you guys, and get the studio, book your studio, and just to teach them, just audition. So I had an extra audition again in last minute. And I knew clearly I have no idea how can I find 2 another American girls, because that was a summertime for the dance communities. Summertime's very, very, very busy. Either people going to the tour with the artist, or you going to vacation, or people going to, Hip Hop International in Vegas. So I already knew I don't have anyone in my mind who can really do my dance style, which is a pop lock style. And I told them, lie. They said, do you know anyone? Are you ready for this? And I was like, oh my God, I have no one. Okay, yeah, I got this. See you tomorrow. So I just lied and hung up on the phone right away. And I just checked my freaking contact list, like who can, where, which girl I can find it. But there is literally no girls. I just went with this psychic intuition. I picked 2 girls, but I've never seen these girls before. And also, I don't even know how they dance. But I just knew this girl. Since the pop lockers weren't there, I had to go with the flippers. You know what? I'm just going to find the B girls or either gymnastics. So I just called them, and one of the girl, her name is Ali, and she was actually detoxing that night, and she was like, felt like she was draining, but I called her at 9 p.m. Please come to the dance studio with me. So we gather up at the 10 p.m. and we practice almost like 1 or 2 a.m. and left. Then next day, I had to have another girl. Her name is Michelle, and she was working at a restaurant or something. And I told her, you know what? Come on, please come. So started off from 3 p.m., 4 p.m. up until 9 p.m. with just 5 hours straight. I just teach them my intricate choreography. and get ready with like some sexy outfit. So finally, 5 of us came along together, and we were ready to wait for the casting director and the executive to come to film us for the audition. But no, one of girl, she was still on the set with a different choreographer, and she couldn't make it. So 4 of us, we came to dance studio in one room, and clearly other girls doesn't know them, and we had to just introduce each other's, say, oh, nice to meet you, but we had to pretend like a crew, like almost like we know each other for years. We had to be, like being really cool about this like girls relationship stuff. So we pretend like we really know each other, we're really close to each other, hugging and laughing. And the cameraman came and we did an audition. And guess what? From that moment, my life completely changed. I was still, half of my Asian butt was being kind of homeless-ish. But now I booked America's Best Dance Crew. So now I never really choreographed before because I just learned how to choreograph from Rosalie, and I don't really have any choreography set. And these girls, I don't know them at all. So, but I had the competition battle routine from Japan. That what I've learned from my teacher, what I've been creating back then when I was in Tokyo. So I just write it down, everything on a notebook, and we are ready to set. That reality TV show, it was for real. Every week, you cannot hear the challenge. You cannot know. You really, like literally, you just get the challenge that day, and you have 5 days create and teach and learn and make a clean up and performing in front of the TV. So that was, it was really, the moment I had a time of my life. So I never really thought I would win the show. And top two was Latina crew from Las Vegas. And all the Latino people was like cheering that crew. And I'm like, Japanese crew, so new. And no one know us. And everyone being together for 10 years, 12 years. They had a fan base. Everyone just like cheering them and supporting them. And because we are such a new crew, I didn't have a social media ready. I don't even know how to use a Facebook or Twitter. And because that system was with the voting, call and voting system from the whole US, I thought, you know what? I'm going to do my best, but I'm not sure what's going to happen. But we won the show. I don't even know how, but we really won the show. So from that day, next day, we got call from Ellen DeGeneres. But because I'm from Japan, I don't even know who is Ellen. And my girl was crying. I was like, what's happened? All the American girl was like crying, like screaming out loud. And I had no clue. And a hero, let's get ready for this, such piece because this is Ellen loved the most. And we were just practicing. And even I was performing in front of Ellen, I still didn't know who she was. Then next week, I got call from manager, and he was just sending us all email about we are going to perform for the opera. And I clearly didn't know who was opera. Who's Oprah Winfrey? Huh? And so I thought like musical, Phantom of the Opera type of thing. Like we were performing like some musical theater stuff. And a girl was crying like crazy, jumping around, and oh my God, we're going to Chicago. And I was performing. I went to Chicago and performing in front of an opera, and Randy Jackson was there, and we had like a lot of like fireworks and stuff. And supposed to be, it's not allowed to perform with the pyros in Chicago for some policy, but opera made it happen. She just like give us many pyros, and we actually couldn't breathe while we were performing because there's so many smokes out there. But so after maybe 2 years later, I really learned how much Ellen and opera is huge in the world. So I still couldn't believe I won the show, but it's just the people start, changing around me, the business and everything just changing. Like working was like, what, Justin Bieber? And I had an interesting story with Justin Bieber. When I was an instructor in Hollywood, it's called IDA Hollywood Dance Studio. There was a little white boy, was walking in the studio, and my friend of mine, he was a choreographer for him, and he introduced me the little boy, and he was really cute. And hi, nice to meet you. And I was showing my pop lock tatting move for him, and he really enjoyed it. And 3 years later, one of my friends called me to shoot performing for the music video, and I asked the artist name, but I didn't know the artist name, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go because my friend asked me, so I'm just gonna do it. Then when I went there, I saw the same little boy from that dance studio. And is he the artist? And there was a Sean Kingston right next to him. And no way. So after we finished the performing, we had a moment to talk. And I came up to him and asked him, hey, do you remember me? And he said, yeah. And wait a minute, like, is this your music video? And he said, yeah. And still, I didn't know that was a freaking Justin Bieber until I came back to home. So my life, I just didn't know anything about it, like about industry, about, this like La 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 Land, but it just happened to happen. It was in front of me, and I just didn't know what to do. And one day, so I was just really mesmerizing this Hollywood industry. Clearly, I had a different desire when I came into this town, but because it's so fancy, it's so much fame, and you feel like under the limelight, and you feel kind of important person. But so I just lost my old desire, and it's just waking up. I woke up my eyes, and from 2015 through 2017, I became like a vegetable. I had it all, and I lost it all. My soul knew that something wasn't right, but I've never knew how much I was ignoring my heart and body. I realized how much I was hurting from the past, including my old childhood wounds with my mom and with my dad. And I didn't know I was holding rage towards my dad, who didn't support my career. And it was so strong, and all my fear were gone, and I didn't know what to do. I almost traveled back in time to when I was age 10, and I had to pick every my broken heart pieces and ask myself, who am I? What do I like? And what do I want to do? Why am I here? So if your creation coming from the place of needing and wanting to feel the emptiness, then most likely some problem will rise. And that's I've learned. And so why I didn't pursue my singing career why I didn't pursue it. I didn't know why, but I realized I've learned the psychologies, and because that was keeping my dad's love and protect his dignity. It was hidden royalty. And it happened, it was totally in my subconscious mind. And I didn't know I was looking for validation from others instead of, just to keep loving whatever I love to do. So after all these years, I found out what I want was a simple rice and miso soup with a warm family. And just to sing a song like when I was a kid. That's all I wanted. For all these years, I ran away from my emptiness and the true desire because I thought I couldn't have it. I thought I don't deserve to be loved. So if you can't have it, just ignore it. That's what I did. And I just really, really needed love. And going back to my real dream, which is bringing my voice back. So I just made it up yesterday, like, okay, maybe I'm going back to little kids. So if I sing a song, it's kind of like this. 夕日が落ちてお家に帰ろう I'm going home, 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 home. So, this is what I truly wanted. And at this moment, I kind of don't care about the industry. I finally found my happiness, not the ideal, iconic dream that everyone wants, not the chasing a big old house, maybe not chasing, plastic surgeries. I just being me and maybe have cutie love in my life and eating a sticky rice. So that's all my third journey that I found out. I didn't need to run away anymore. And I'm hoping that I can keep working on my singing and finally working on my voice so that I can finally make real dream come true. I can open my Pandora box finally. Yay, yay.
Thank you for listening. We'll be right back.
Ever feel ill over the price of your prescriptions? Visit dreamdevelopment.com/Blink Health for up to 95% off on 15,000 medications. $20 off your first order with Dream Development. Pay online and pick it up at the pharmacy of your choice. Blink Health is in over 57,000 pharmacies, including Kroger's, Walmart, Rite Aid, CVS, and many more. Do the math. It adds up to Blink Health. This ad is sponsored by dreamdevelopment.com. You're listening to Radio Theater for Your Soul, where storytellers gather around the mic.
Welcome back to Radio Theater for Your Soul, right here on acceleratedраdio.net. I'm your host, Shanice C.L. Coleman, also known as Courageous Love. And you just heard featured storyteller, international entertainer, Hiroka Maruki, also known as Hiro. Thank you again for being here, sis. Please tell our listeners how or where they can hear you, see you, or contact you.
Okay, Kay. So everyone, I'm not good at the social media, to be honest, but so please go to Facebook, Hiroka. It's Hero and Hiroka. So everything, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, if you're around there, please add me and we will be friends.
Yes,
Yay.
yes. And you're also doing a campaign to go back to Japan.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh, everyone, I really eager to going back home to find my family. I really haven't seen my dad for 10 years. And little sister, I don't even know because I left when she was, 2 months old or 3 years old or something. So, but I just need your help. If you can, I'm looking for the donation and because I don't know how to use so much internet, you can please connect with my Facebook or either, I know I have a PayPal me, the donation, PayPal me and /Hiroka, Hiroka. And, so if you can donate it for me, I really appreciate it. And, we can share together my journey and you are with me. You go Japan with me. So I'm gonna post every single step from the social medias.
So just reach out to her on Facebook or PayPal her, and she's gonna be going to Japan hopefully very, very soon.
Hope so.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And we have others joining her in the studio today at the gathering. I would love for you guys to introduce yourselves, please.
This is Anna Tellez.
And Daniel Tellez.
All right.
And Anthony Wanzer.
All right, all right. Listeners, the phone lines are now open, so please give us a call. The number is 310-910-9676, extension 1. It's Saturday, September 2nd, 2017. Again, the number is 310-910-9676, extension 1. Give us a call now. We are live in studio with featured storyteller, Hiro.
Yep.
Call us now. Call us now. And Hiro, while we wait for callers, is there anything else that you'd like to share that you did not get to share during your presentation?
Oh, yes. I have one thing. The reason why I loved those like voice work, because I feel like it massages my spine. And when I'm just bringing my voice out, I feel like I would be able to more ground it and connect with the universe. And because I was so in love with the black music, and a lot of Japanese industry right now, they just working for the marketing. And to be honest, I really don't feel any energy, any soul, any feeling. And lately, I'm not really listening to radio show because I don't feel the soul. I'm always listening like 1950s or 60s, really old school stuff. So I just really, as a Japanese person, I'd love to really explore this singing and what I've learned from this black culture. I want to bring it back to Asia, being an ambassador. And if it's not in Asia, anywhere, I just feel like that is my soul calling and connecting with my soul, and almost like as a walking crystal. If I'm in the right vortex, I feel like whoever listen, like we will resonate together and we can really feel each other's, and whatever the stress that you have, it's going to be therapeutic. It's going to be gone. So I really want to do like that. And doesn't need to be pop, doesn't need to be anything like chasing the industry, and really something that we feel inside. That's I'd like to do.
I love that. I love that. Listeners, you heard it. The phone lines are now open. This is Radio Theater for Your Soul on AcceleratedRadio.net. I am your host, Shanice C.L. Coleman. The featured storyteller is Hiroka Maruki. She is also known as Hiro. Give us a call. The number is 310-910-9676, extension 1. That's 310-910-9676, extension 1. And we're still waiting for callers, listeners. Call on in. We're only here for a little while, so give us a call. But we do have other people in the studio, as you heard earlier, and I'm wondering if anyone here has a question for Hiro.
Well, I certainly do. Your story in itself, I think you become a hero to a lot of people, and this is extremely privileged to be here and experience with you. Your story, I think, hits home for a lot of people. What advice would you give to folks that are still searching or looking for something to grab to kind of give them that extra push to seek their dreams?
Right. I'm being a Japanese girl, but I've never really been able to fit in Japan. I was too tall, too loud, too much something. So I've never really fit their, trail, like the track. And when I came to USA, obviously, I'm Japanese girl, I'm a foreigner. So I feel like, where is my place in this world? I literally felt that, and I get that feeling. If you're still searching, you know what? This is how I found out. I found out if I don't have a home, then whenever you pick the place, you can create anywhere, that will be your home. Literally, you can pick it and choose it. If you nowhere, meaning you can go anywhere. So you reverse that, you flip that fact. Like you can go anywhere. Maybe you can go Iran, you can go to Europe, you can go to Africa. Wherever you picked, that would be your home.
Wherever you lay your hat is your home.
Yeah!
I love it. I love it. Did she answer your question, Daniel?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. Listeners, again, the phone lines are open. This is Radio Theater for Your Soul on AcceleratedRadio.net. Again, the number is 310-910-9676, extension 1. Give us a call. I am live in studio with featured storyteller Hiro. call on in. But we have other people here to ask questions. So
I have a question.
okay.
So when you got to the U.S., it sounds like you won the dance contest, America's Best Dance Crew, pretty quickly. You said within was that your first 2 years of being here?
Yes, it was like the first 2 years and a half, almost about to be 3 years.
Right. So you hadn't danced in the U.S. for very long, and you beat girls that had been dancing here for a decade together. Right. And you had a brand new dance crew. You'd never danced together before.
Right.
You just met. So do you feel like your training in Japan prepared you much more than you thought it did? Because it seems to me like you kind of breezed right past the competition once you got here.
Right. I definitely had a discipline foundation in Japan. And because the Japanese training is very, very strict, almost like a soldier type of thing. So, and also I was good at the idea. You know, it's not being the best at it. It's just the idea that you can be special. So what I picked was a pop locking because I knew there's not so many girls can do that. And not so many girls mix with a sexy, like just really bring in a feminine energies in it. Because the popping is a lot of like mostly more dominant style and then most likely represented by male dancers. But what if a girl has a heels on and it still have that her smell like cuteness?
She still has her woman thing going on.
Yeah.
The pop locking.
Yeah, exactly. But I wanted to hit hard more than guys do. So that all the contracts and idea helps me a lot.
Oh, I love that. I love. And in addition to pop locking, what are the other styles of dance?
You know what? I loved African dance, and I went to take West African kuku and sabar dance, and so I was the only Japanese girl who were, in the class, and that was like excellent. That was amazing. Made me feel so free.
I love that. I love that. So, but when you perform, you only do pop locking? Do you also do?
I mix with walking and hip hop.
Okay.
And sometimes house steps and floor moves.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so all of that does stem from African dance. So it's all like.
I think he does a little cuckoo dance.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's a diamond right there.
I
try.
I love it. Listeners, the phone lines are open. You have a few minutes, not very long, to give us a call, 310-910-9676, extension 1. This is Radio Theater for Your Soul on acceleratedраdio.net. The featured storyteller is Hiroka Maruki from Japan, but she lives in Los Angeles. She has made her home here for now, and we'd love to hear from you. Give us a call. And does anyone else have a question before I go into anything?
Well, I do.
Okay.
I am all about fashion, and being here in the studio with you, I absolutely love your fashion sense. So I wanted to see where you get your style inspiration from.
Good question, Anna.
So my style, I like mixing with like authentic stuff and American stuff, and I love kind of being a rock and roll, but in the way a little bit of Marilyn Monroe, and I put the little Japanese into it. So today I'm wearing a kimono, kimono dress, and I have a little leather top and just like leather skirts and stuff like that. I just mix everywhere I go.
I love it. Very rock and roll, but Japanese style. Sexy, feminine.
It's lovely.
Head banging.
Well, I'm actually going to get to that point where I'm closing the show unless a caller calls in the middle of me talking. But I'd like to thank all of you out there listening. I'd like to thank everyone who's in the studio. Thank you, Dream Development, for sponsoring this show. Also, thank you, Anthony Wanzer, for making this connection. And Anthony is here in studio today.
Hello.
He's my hero.
Yes, he is a hero for a lot of people. Thank you, Anna and Daniel. I'd like to thank in-studio support, Cherry Sparks. Thank you again, Mr. D. Shea Guest, engineer extraordinaire. And it has been my pleasure to host featured storyteller, international entertainer, Hiroka Maruki, a.k.a. Hiro.
Arigato.
Yes, obrigado. Thank you again for being here and sharing your story. Please let our listeners hear your voice one more time. I'd love to hear you sing a little bit.
I need love, love to ease my mind. I need find someone to call mine. But Mama said you can't hurry in love. No, you just have to wait. She said love don't come easy. It's a game on give and take. You can't hurry in love. No, you just have to wait. Just trust, give it time, no matter how long it takes. But how many heartaches, everyone, how many heartaches stand before I find a love to let me live again? Right now the only things keeps me hanging on. Oh yeah, you feel my strength. Yeah, it's almost gone. I remember Mama said.
Yes, that is
Arigato.
Hero.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm Shanice C.L. Coleman. That was Hero singing, and I'm also known as Courageous Love. I'll be right back to tell you what's happening next week. Don't move.
Ever feel ill over the price of your prescriptions? Visit dreamdevelopment.com/Blink Health for up to 95% off on 15,000 medications. $20 off your first order with Dream Development. Pay online and pick it up at the pharmacy of your choice. Blink Health is in over 57,000 pharmacies, including Kroger's, Walmart, Rite Aid, CVS, and many more. Do the math. It adds up to Blink Health. This ad is sponsored by dreamdevelopment.com. You're listening to Radio Theater for Your Soul with your host, Shanice C.L. Coleman.
Please tune in again next week and hear featured storyteller artist Ms. Genia Dulot, a Russian native. She was always taller and bigger than the other girls, but her life changed completely when she became a plus-size model. And she will be live right here on Radio Theater for Your Soul. Same place, same time. And finally, I sign off weekly with a poem, or what I call a poetic offering. The brilliance of that human light overshadows the personality traits that weaknesses that came from human frailty. I'm going to say that again because I'm hearing little. The brilliance of that human light overshadows the personality traits and weaknesses that came from human frailty. The brilliance of that human light overshadows the personality traits and weaknesses that come from human frailty. That poetic offering is a quote by author Stuart Weill.